My temperament bipolar. I choose violence. Oh. Anyway, today we're gonna do something a little bit different. I'm gonna tug at the business owner edges, and then I'm gonna slap the people's hand who be playing in your faces. Um, I was gonna call this episode a bunch of things. It's probably just going to fall under the excommunication series. The excommunication series is a series written about how we excommunicate our villages, but we do not rehire for those positions, and then we later suffer because of that. However, during the excommunication process, I think there's some things that like um we don't take note of, and that's a thing. It's fine. It's not important today. It's a time for another episode. But to the girlies who own businesses, are entrepreneurs, the girls, gays, theys, and hims who are entrepreneurs, own businesses, have started your projects from the ground up. Today's episode is specifically for the race car in the back is crazy as hell. This is why I record at night. Anyhow, the business girlies, don't be distracted. You see what that was? An agent of the devil. No, that's distraction. Don't be distracted, girl. This episode is specifically for you, and that's why it's titled It's Not Cocky, It's Business. Post your receipts, my love. All of you who own businesses, whether you have an internet business, a physical location, whatever you have, you've been collecting testimonies, collecting receipts, collecting whatever DMs, messages on how people have messaged you and been like, I love what you bring to the space. Whether you're an artist, a physical art, musical artist, you sell jewelry, whether you are OnlyFans girly, whether you are moving different products, even if you are spiritual girlies and you trapping these tarot readings, okay? Post your receipts. Post your receipts. Post your testimonies. It's not cocky. It's business. See, a lot of you have been so comfortable playing small in your businesses. You've been comfortable being like, oh no, it's okay. I'm just in the background. And you are wondering why people are treating you like a fucking background character. This is why I said we're going to take the ministry to the streets today, because that's where the businesses are. Simultaneously, that's where the people who would like to challenge the businesses are. So if you don't know where you are, this is Gregory the podcast. I'm your host, Gregory, and this is me taking our ministry to the streets. But it's in love, because there's a couple of y'all. There's a couple of y'all who I've got to get at today. And you know me, I'm a bitch who always likes to put an at on it. So grab your chapstick, grab your water, and let's go and get outside to some of these businesses. Because a lot of you girls own businesses and you don't never post about it. You don't never tell nobody. You don't never tell nobody. What's crazy is y'all are having business conversations with the wrong people. You're having business conversations with people who do not understand business. You're having business conversations with people who are not, everybody's not meant to run a business. Everybody's not. Like, let's cut to the chase. Everybody's not meant to run a business. Some people run businesses thinking they're going to get rich. Some people run businesses just like as a side hustle, and it's a quick maneuver to money. And you can always tell the people apart. Don't let one who couldn't stand in your shoes, couldn't do what you do, somebody who was in a room with you when you were in your dark space, when you were down on your knees praying, not like that, you nasty whores, but you were down on your knees, down on your luck, up back against the wind, or whatever they said in that song, that Lori song. Y'all know that song from Set It Off. Day after day. Anyhow, when you were down there and you were praying, or whatever you may call it, manifesting, meditating, you were praying, you were talking to your spiritual team, and they were like, here, love, let me set this divine idea down in you. And then you got passionate. It lit a spark, a fire, if you will. And then you envisioned yourself doing it. And then you began to do the research that you were envisioning about. And then you began to pull the things needed to bring it into fruition. Those are the stages of manifestation, by the way, in which you took that business through. Clock it. Post your receipts because you took that business from an idea to into fruition. Post your testimonies. The bitch asking, hey, is that selling? People really buy that? Is that your thing? Like, oh, how's your little business doing? It gives little question. And nothing I do, I don't know about the rest of you, but nothing that the doll does is little. You have to excuse my allergies. It is springtime in Texas. It may not be the springtime in anywhere else in the country. It's the springtime in Texas. But the girl's asking, is that what you're supposed to be doing? That's really it? That's what you're selling? Again, if you are locked in with your faith like this, if you locked in with your spiritual team, your spirituality, your divine blessings, your divine communication and connection, if you are locked in like peas in a can, okay? If you are locked in, it's just you and God. Why are you accepting questions from a bitch that God would not let you have a threesome with? This is why we took the ministry to the streets. The only person God is going to let you have a threesome with when it comes to him is your divine partner. Not a bitch asking you questions about what's selling on your business, what's selling on your Etsy site, how much jewelry you moving, how much ass you shaking on the OnlyFans. You letting people who wasn't in the room with you when you were praying and in shambles question you. Do better. Post your receipts. In fact, post your receipts, post your testimonies, and tag Gregory the podcast in it so that we may come and double tap your business, like your business, share your business. You know why? Because we appreciate what you bring to the lanes. We appreciate the art that you have, even if the other girls around you, because the family and friends and cousins and brothers and them that you have around you, they are not your first consumer. They aren't. They are not. They're not the girls that you are selling to. They are not the dolls who are going to support the business. Yes, sure, a few likes, shares, clicks, follows, all of that is support. But that is not your target audience. Because you make them your target audience, that is why they are allowed to hurt your feelings when you haven't had sales. Because also, when you haven't had sales and you still think your family is the target audience, think about that. You haven't had a sale and your target audience is sitting in the room with you. Post your goddamn receipts. Post your testimonies. Post your business. Because there will always be somebody down at your port, meaning watching your blessings come in, watching your ships come in. Which, by the way, for those of you, give me your musty bonnets and dingy do-rags so I may wash them, make them clean, and I can send your ass back down to your port where you can watch your ships come in. Because that being down at somebody else's port, watching, waiting, looking for their ships to come in, and when their ships come in saying, yeah, I couldn't do that because that would be hell in my life. It would be. It would be. You slinging the tarot cards, it would cause hell in your life. It would. You know why? Because a lot of y'all deep down are shaky in your faith. And see, now I'm tapping on the people who are questioning your businesses. I'm tapping on their hands because they tapped on your door. A lot of you are shaky in your faith. You are envious because you are afraid that your God is not going to bless you as abundantly or as greatly as he has blessed somebody else. He's not, because those blessings were not designed with you in mind. Those blessings do not have your name on it. They are not directed at your address. In layman's terms, my crown would break your fucking neck into a million pieces. And some of you need to start moving like that in the world. That what you offer to the world is special. It is gifted. You prayed for it. You brought it into manifestation. See if it into fruition, not into manifestation, into fruition, because it is here now. See, if it wasn't for you, he wouldn't have let you get that far. He wouldn't have let you get that far. So again, to be challenged by people, and again, I'm going to put an ad on it because I always like to do these podcasts from my own personal experience. To be asking me, oh, people buy tarot card readings. And I know for the spiritual girlies listening, they're like, somebody asked you that? Yes. When you fuse the regular world with the spiritual world and you start moving in different spaces, a lot of people pretend as though they don't see all the ruckus and all the money that has flowed through the spiritual world. Which is so funny because, yes, you have spiritual scammers just like you have Christian scammers or religious scammers, not just Christian scammers, but religious scammers. Because I've seen some of the girls in the name of Catholicism playing. Okay? But to be asking me about if my product is selling, it's so funny. And I'm going to tell you a few reasons why. Number one, the receipt, asking for receipts is always going to be a kiki to me. I found some of you in the Valley of the Shadow of Death. I met you there because we were there together. Probably for a lot of you, specifically one of you, because again, I like to put an at on it. The first thing I said to you the very first day I met you was, you're broke. Now, I know a lot of you are thinking that's not a nice thing. Girl, I wasn't a nice girl when I was said that. Okay? Moving along. But I was not wrong either. I may have not been nice about my approach. I may have not been nice about my delivery, but I was always accurate. See, no matter whether I have been in the army, doing hair in the salons, or at the Goodwill, I've always been in divine purpose. Long as I show up in the room, open my mouth, and inspire people to do better, want better, and not die in the spaces that they are in, I'm doing my job. I'm doing what God has called me to do. Again, the girlies in the Goodwill were like, oh yeah, they don't allow us to make jokes in here. They don't like us to laugh. Slavery? Y'all are slaves? Because you said they don't like you to laugh. They pay you to be here for 10 hours. They don't like you to laugh? Again, the receipt, asking for my receipts, it's fine. You are the receipt, my love. I found you in the army and you were financially broke, emotionally damaged, and spiritually fragile. And I didn't say it in these words because it took a lot longer to do this process, but I'm going to shorten the process. I grabbed you by your hand, I looked you in your eyes and told you we didn't have to die here, because although they would love us to die here, spiritually die, that is, not the physical death, but the spiritual death, because the spiritual death is quite, in my opinion, greater than a physical one, but whatever. I didn't allow us to die there. All of your friends, the entire squad, the entire platoon were made up of people I didn't allow to die there. If you've met me, because I'm not, a lot of girlies love to call themselves the blueprint. I'm no fucking map. I'm the imprint, the influence, and the effect. Okay? Be clear. Be clear. If you've had a conversation with me, I've said something to you that has shifted your way of thinking, shifted a thought in you. Again, I've always been in purpose no matter what I'm doing. I just am now working for myself. And just because I brought that to the forefront and I've been playing small in the back does not mean you get to come and challenge the validity of, one, my business, and two, my purpose. Because again, I cannot help that my presence belittles you. I cannot help that. See, when you are in your own divine alignment, one of two things are going to happen. I'm either going to inspire you or I'm going to intimidate you. Either way, not my problem. I came to tell the girlies, post your business. Post your receipts. Post your testimonies. It's not cocky. I've got a girl sitting in my DMs right now that said, hey, you told me my mom was going to pass in 3 months. Here we are 3 months later. She has transitioned. Thank you for the clarity. Do not question me. Do not question me. Especially when it comes to some of y'all sitting here with shaky faiths that you only acknowledge when it comes to a social media post. Stop letting the people challenge you and they're not real and they're not sitting in their own purpose. They're not sitting. They're upset because they don't see what it took. They don't see the late nights it took you studying that project. They don't see the late nights it took you, the hard effort you had to get in to earn the money, to earn the equipment. They don't see all of the changes you had to make to the process when it was just a thought before it even got here. They don't see it. They're not going to see it. These are the toils and pains and troubles and tribulations of a business owner. I want you to know that you're not alone. We see you. But I want you to know that none of these opinions, none of these questions, none of these challenges to your divine divinity and your purpose when it comes to your business, because some of y'all are in purpose when it comes to setting up these businesses. None of these challenges, none of these questions matter, because none of them are greater than the faith that you have in your own business. None of them are greater than the faith you have in your own business. So it doesn't matter because the girls are, well, I just don't see anybody buying that. You don't have to see it, love. You can't see half the shit happening in your own life, let alone the shit happening in my business. Don't worry about my books, babes. Don't worry about my books, babes. Again, it's okay. But post your business. Stop playing small. We're tired of it. You're tired of it. Tell them who you are. Let them know you that girl. Baby, I don't care if you're in the top 0.5% of fucking OnlyFans creators. Tell them you sell more ass than anybody else. If you sell jewels, you better let them know you the jewelry dealer. Shout out to Serenity, the brand. Yeah, you see it. You better tell them you the jewelry dealer. Okay? I don't care what you do. You do podcasts, share your podcast. I love listening to other people's podcasts. I don't listen to myself. I listen to everybody else's podcasts. Share your project, share your business, post it, post your testimonies, post how you have touched somebody, post how you have reached the girls. It's not cocky, it's business. And because you're not moving like a business, you are not acting like one, they don't see you as one. They see you as a side hustle, baby, a snack machine at best. And a hoe that's unhappy in their own life is a never. They only gonna go to the snack machine and bang on the glass. Catch it. Touch it. Back up now. That's what I came to say. I came to say that part, but there's a whole nother part I really want to add to this. Some people are not gonna understand why they came tapping on my door and I shook their motherfucking kitchen table and took the legs off and the cord to the air fryer and the microwave. Because a lot of y'all don't, when they say you never know what people are going through, you never know when the comments, the best reference I have for this situation is the girlfriend reference. And if a lot of y'all haven't seen the show, it's not a show you could really watch in 2024. It's very cringy. But needless to say, right, there comes a point in the show when Tony and what's my baby, Tracy Ellis Ross character, they come to the point where Tracy Ellis Ross is like, girl, we're not friends no more. Joan was a piece of work. Joan finally looks at Tony and was like, girl, we're not friends no more. We can't do this. Right? And Tony is so confused because Tony is down on her luck. She's having a moment and she needs her friend. But see, what happened is, instead of letting Tony go in the very first episode of the show, this has carried on. And now the excommunication of Tony seems so extreme to the point where it makes Joan be a villain. Whenever you sit down and you start dealing with that trauma and dealing with the things that you don't like, the way you've allowed people to treat you, because quite frankly, you saw their potential or you saw past what they are showing you and you saw what they could be in the future. If they're meant to be, they'll spin the block. If not, you've got to let it go. You've got to let it go. And it doesn't matter what age you come to the recollection of, damn, I got to start excommunicating the people. I know Joan did it really late in the show, but in reality, when we get to the point and we are like, damn, I got to stand up, Stand up. It's not about you choosing when. It's not about you being like, oh, it's not the right time. They're going through something. This is the time. So if the people are challenging your business and you're tired of it, then maybe an excommunication needs to occur. Whether that be a physical excommunication, getting these people out of your circle, or a social media excommunication of making sure they can't see, comment, or post on any of the things. Because some people think that because they are engaging with your business in any kind of manner, um, whether if you're doing lives, they're commenting on the lives or leaving comments or making a funny joke or what they deem to be a funny joke. Sometimes all of that is not respected in what you do as a business. It's not respected in your particular lane, your particular branding. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes that the social excommunication is what's needed. I'm going to leave that right there for y'all to ponder about. If you don't know where you've been, this has been Gregory the Podcast. I am your ever so humble and gracious host until I'm not, Gregory. And this has been my something to say. Post your testimonies at us at Gregory the Podcast on whatever social media you're on, and we'll find you, girl. And that's been my something to say. This has been my ministry. It's been love, but it's been in the streets. So thanks. Peace.